flock to our shores in search of freedom and a better future. In short, there is not a breath in any American's life that is not shaped in some way by Alexander Hamilton. Certainly not a breath in mine. His memory, which I must honor for the sake of our children if nothing else, is impossible for me to escape. Though I confess I have tried. In the secret seethings of my discontented heart, I've searched for a life that is my own, a life not consumed by the questions he left in his wake, riddles I will never solve about our marriage, our family, and the suffering to which he exposed us. I've searched for a meaning to my existence not swallowed up by Hamilton's shadow, by his genius, by his greatness, by his folly, and by his enemies. For in the battle of history, a war for truth fought against time, I am a veteran. I have been fighting that battle for decades, and perhaps never more ferociously than now within myself as I stare at the paper in my hand. Squinting beneath my bonnet against the sunlight, I see a calling card, unremarkable but for the single name etched in the center with bold ink. James Monroe. At the sight of it, an unexpected pain stabs beneath my ribs, where my heart picks up its pace. My basket of purple hyacinths lies forgotten at my feet as I stand up, a little breathless. For the only thing more astonishing than the name itself is that the card is folded at the corner, indicating the former president personally delivered it, rather than sending a servant. I should feel honored. Instead, I'm incensed that James Monroe has darkened my doorstep, and before I can stop myself, my voice drops low, as it always does when I'm angry. What has that man come to see me for? Couldn't say, my housekeeper murmurs, straightening her apron. But he's waiting for you in the parlor. It's not the protocol for a gentleman to present a card and wait, except when presuming upon familiar acquaintance. And though Monroe definitely is a familiar acquaintance, and more than an acquaintance besides, he has no right to presume upon our old intimacy. No right at all. Not after everything that has passed between us. Especially not when he's caught me out in the yard, in my gardening gloves and black workaday bombazine frock. He should not expect, even under the best of circumstances, that I would receive a man of his rank and stature on a moment's notice. But then James Monroe has always been wilier than anyone gives him credit for, and I imagine that he's counting on the element of surprise to work to his advantage. Doubtless he's come to pay his respects to you, the housekeeper says, and I give the most indelicate snort of my life, because I think it more likely Monroe has come to collect my surrender. For years now, to promote his so-called era of good feelings, a popular President Monroe cut a swath through cities and towns, using his southern drawl and amiable manner to smother every last vestige of dissent, and charmed, no doubt, by that infernal dimple in his chin, everyone has genuflected. Everyone but me. Which is why I suppose he cannot retire in complete victory until he can boast of having reconciled with the wife of Alexander Hamilton. But there are no good feelings here. And even though I'm not completely reconciled with Hamilton myself, I have no wish to become Monroe's final triumph. As I clutch the card, much perturbed, the housekeeper prompts me. Ma'am, you wouldn't want to leave the gentleman waiting. Oh, but I do want to. I'd happily leave Monroe standing on the stoop of the house Alexander Hamilton built until the Virginian is bent with age and crumbling to dust. But Monroe has already invaded my parlor, so I must deal with him. And I must deal with him myself. To do otherwise would be to discount a lifetime of lessons from my father, a general who taught me that when faced with the specter of defeat, one must meet it swiftly and with as much dignity as possible. So I remove my garden gloves, scoop up my basket of hyacinths, and say, quite grandly, I will see him. After that, I don't so much walk into the Federal-style yellow house as march into battle. I find